All right, good morning. So as you noticed, I am not here today, and neither is Ms. T. So you have a substitute who's going to be leading you guys through the class period today. And rather than having her give a whole bunch of instructions or writing something down, I thought this video might be helpful because not only can I give you the expectations for today, but I can kind of show you some examples. So last week in class, you should have worked on a couple of different things, actually several different items. The table of contents, preface, and title page were something that you guys worked on, I think, last Wednesday, and then last Friday you were working on your epilogue and your rationale. Each of those items was expected to be brought with you today so that they can be checked off and accounted for. And you know that your final project is due on Thursday, March 17th at the end of the block. So hopefully and ideally you've done all 5 of those things in addition to your 5 genres, and at this point you're just making some final changes and getting ready to put the whole thing together. A couple of things I noticed from looking through my Red Day classes, their projects was title page. As you can see right here, we've looked at this example several times over the last couple of weeks. This is an example of a good title page for a couple of reasons. Number one, you see that there's an actual title to this project. What Kelly could have done is just put Dr. Seuss, which is more of a label. I mean, that is his name, and I understand that sometimes books are just named the name of the person who it's about, but I really want you guys to come up with a title that somehow describes your topic. This one makes sense because Dr. Seuss wrote a lot of stories, and this particular project is a story about him. And then you're going to put your information into MLA format. So I expect that you guys are going to include your first and last name, the due date of the project, which for us is March 17th, 2016. You're going to put my name and the course, which is ELA 1, and it would be nice if you'd include the block for which you are a part of. And you're also going to make sure that you have, all those things in there. All right, next thing would be I would like to see your table of contents as the very first page when I open up so that I know that at any point I can flip to, oh, okay, so the 4th thing down is going to be some diary entries. So table of contents. It does not have to be labeled table of contents. It doesn't have to have, a fancy title. You get to choose whichever one you want. So it doesn't have to have one or the other. You need to decide what best fits your project. On the left-hand side, you're going to put the title or the type of the genre, so your preface, your timeline, your newspaper article. On the right-hand side is where you're going to put the title that you've come up with to uniquely name each one of those genres. So for instance, this timeline, which is the type of genre, is called Oh, the Things He Did, which is a clever title which talks about all the different events that took place in Dr. Seuss's life. You can see that the Repetin is included with this particular font, being the same for each one of the titles or the headings throughout the project. And they've even added in an interesting little picture down here. Again, you will want to show and check off that you've done your Dear Reader, which is your preface. The substitute that is with you today will be checking to see that you have your title page, your table of contents, and your preface. This should be about 10 to 12 sentences long, like we've discussed in the past. It needs to address the reader, and it needs to be signed by you, or your name needs to be in the signature line. You're going through and you're telling us the how and the why you chose this topic, things that you learned, things that you think are important, what you like the reader to take out of this. If you're not quite sure, remember you can refer to the assignment guideline, which has lots of different questions that you can answer in your Dear Reader to complete that. Each of the genres then goes. The sub will not be checking for the genres in particular. However, the sub will be looking for your epilogue. Remember, your epilogue answers what perceptions may have changed about your topic, things that you learned that you didn't know prior to that, how you liked doing a multi-genre project versus doing a traditional essay, and any last-minute little facts or things that you'd like to include. So your substitute today will be looking for that and checking that off so that Miss T and I can enter that grade for you. And then finally, the rationale, which, as we discussed in the past, is really just a short paragraph describing why you chose the genre that you did. So for this one, Kelly chose a timeline, which she had titled Oh, the Things He Did. and she gave us a brief little idea of why it is that she chose a timeline. So why was a timeline the best way to give this information? And she listed the sources where she got that information. So I'm going to expect to see a brief paragraph after the type of genre and the title, explaining why you chose it, sources used with a list. Then you'll go on to the next genre, which was a newspaper article, and the title of the newspaper article, a short description as to why a newspaper article was chosen, and on the next page, the sources used. These should go in the same order as what is seen here on the table of contents. Timeline newspaper article, you can see over here, it's a timeline in a newspaper article. So they should follow the same exact order. Finally, you see that the works cited page is included in this project. I would like for you guys to start putting together your works cited page. The biggest thing is if you've already been plugging these into EasyBib, they are in MLA format. Your biggest goal would be to get them all on one page and make sure they're in alphabetical order, but we will be revisiting this a little bit when I'm back to class on Thursday. So basically, your goals for today are to get any of the pieces that you may still be missing as far as the title page, table of contents, preface go. It's a work day for you. Now I realize we're not there to ask you or for you to ask us questions or to ask you what you've got going on, but the substitute will be checking to see what you have and what you're able to provide. And she may even offer to look through and read some of your pieces for grammatical or punctuation or spelling errors so that you have that person there as kind of a someone to touch base with on some of your pieces. If you have any questions that you would like Ms. Tiara to specifically answer, please come see one of us Wednesday during class, between classes, or come to one of our classes and see if you can catch us for a few moments. I'll be in 424 like I typically am. Ms. T will be over in the class that she's in with Ms. Smith, which is over in the 300th hallway. And we'll be available Thursday during homeroom if you need to come touch base with one of us or both of us about some of the things that are going on in your project. So the biggest thing is you really need to use this time wisely. These projects are due at the end of the block on Thursday, so being sure that you are using this time so that you can get all those things done, your genres, your epilogue, all that stuff needs to be ready and complete and ready to go for any final touches on Thursday. Another thing is you need to bring whatever materials you want to put together your project. If you're turning your project in online, I'll show you how to submit that on Thursday in class. If you are intending to turn it in a paper form, a binder or a folder, you need to bring your binder, your folder, any markers, colored pencils, anything that you intend to put into your project need to be brought with you on Thursday so that you can complete that and turn it in before you leave for spring break. If you have any other questions, go ahead and give me an email, come see me, whatever it is. I'm here to help you, and I will see you when I'm back in class on Thursday. Have a good day.